I've got a question for you. Do you know what your talents are? Does your life revolve around them? And if not, do you wish this were the case? You see, growing up, there would have been two places where you would have had the chance to discover, nurture, and really grow your talents. And this would have been at home or at school. Now, at home, your family might have had you do some extracurriculars such as learning the piano or taking part in a team sport or perhaps encouraging your very specific curiosity in building Legos, for example. But at school, it would have been a bit different because you see, at school, you're put in a classroom and there's a teacher standing at the front of the classroom who is transmitting a lot of information to you, and you're expected to understand the information in order for you to be examined. And these examinations are what determine if you can proceed to the next stage of life in a very sort of linear fashion. But what school never really does is stops and asks you, what can you do better than anyone else, and how can we help to support that? So in this two-part series, I'd like to take you on a journey of what school could have been like for me, you, and future generations to come. I believe we were all told the same narrative by our parents, loved ones, family, friends, teachers, what have you, growing up. And that was, if you go to school, get a degree, you'll be able to get a good job and live a comfortable life. Assuming you don't live under a rock of some sort or are stuck in some echo chamber, I believe you know pretty damn well that that advice doesn't really hold in 2026. And if you don't believe me, just have a look at the stats for yourself. I recently saw a report saying that there are approximately around 1 million young people between the ages of 16 to 24 who are NEETs. NEETs being not in employment, education, or training. And this number is roughly about almost 14% of all young people in the UK, which is pretty mad to think about. And another report I saw recently as well was that youth unemployment is the highest it's been in the past 5 years. Bearing in mind that 5 years ago was literally when we were just coming out of the pandemic. So a time when we were all forced to stay at home and people were being furloughed from their jobs. So you're telling me that the amount of unemployment now, when we're not in any kind of global epidemic of some sort, or pandemic I should say, it's just as bad as when we were actually in one and forced to stay at home? Doesn't that sound pretty bonkers to you, pretty insane to you? And it really makes you think, how did we get here? How did we get to this stage where people with excellent qualifications are having to send 300 plus applications just to get 0 responses? And it's a very multifaceted problem that I do not have the time to answer in this video, nor the full knowledge of the problem yet. But if there's one angle I like to focus on that I am somewhat familiar with from my own personal experience, it's just the fact that it's just that more competitive out there. You see, everybody wants to live the good life, have their own place, have a nice car, perhaps have a partner if they so feel, have the ability to do the hobbies that they want, whether that be traveling, going to nice restaurants, doing extreme sports, whatever it may be. And one of the best and proven ways to achieve this goal, and one that everybody in our lives will harp on about from growing up, is entering a lucrative field. And that can be technology, that can be law, finance, health, what have you. There's some other fields as well, just like entertainment and music, but I'm gonna not talk about those specifically because they're the more non-traditional lucrative fields, and it does require you to already know what the talent is that you can contribute to that industry. Anyway, moving on. the industries that I mentioned, they're arguably one of some of the most lucrative and most important to our society, because they really do help to keep society running. And therefore, everybody is going to be trying to want to get into these because A, they're lucrative, and also B, because it's been proven for many, many decades that if you can get into one of these fields, then you are pretty much set, assuming that you are in the right person in the right place at the right time, what have you. So as a result of that, and because of the fact that this generation, Gen Z, are actually very ambitious and are very clued up, because they've got access to so much information around them, not just from their immediate life but also from the interwebs. It just means that there are more people who are basically getting more degrees, getting more advanced degrees, so master's degrees and PhDs. So people are becoming more competitive, trying to become more competitive in terms of their profile. This, combined with the fact that there are actually just less roles available, and that's for another variety of reasons as well. One of those reasons being artificial intelligence, which is another rabbit hole that I will not get into. But that combination of having more competitive individuals with less roles available just makes it really, really hard for everyone. And it's a real shame that it's this way. But is there much choice? There's not many other ways of being able to build the life that you want outside of entering a lucrative career. You could argue that there is, but in terms of the most proven and the most tested, because naturally as people we don't like to take a risk. So if there's a proven way of doing it in a very clear, linear way, why not go for that way? So you just have to pick the thing that hopefully aligns with who you are and what your natural interests are, because in reality you may have some kind of talent that you think is amazing, but society may not have any need for at the moment, forcing you to have to survive until A, you can make it despite what society says, or B, society actually does want what you can do, and you can be rewarded well for that. And what's, I guess, more sad is the fact that this molding to get everyone into lucrative industry starts from a very young age. But it does beg the question, what happens if you don't fit into one of these molds, one of these pathways? You then get told to just go learn a trade so you can still be useful to society. Then again, being in the trade nowadays is actually a very lucrative thing as well, because everybody is doesn't want to do any blue-collar work per se. So anyone that is a blue-collar worker can just end up making loads and loads of more money and live a very good life as well. So I've actually noticed there's actually a trend of people moving into the blue-collar side of things, which is very interesting, but not the point of this video anyway. And to get some opinions on how people feel about trying to be fitted into a mold that doesn't fit, I actually went out into Brixton to get some opinions, and there was one person I had a chat with who really summed up nicely what this whole ramble I've been doing was about, and I'll play that for you now.
Judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will spend the rest of his life thinking it's stupid. Exactly. And that's the way our education system is. Yeah. But I'm full of ADHD, most likely autism, blah 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 blah. And it of course made it difficult in class. I fuck knows. Probably how it's all natured towards the less creatives. It will turn to creatives now. But hopefully. But like even AI makes good music now, so But
what makes this hit harder is the fact that some people will spend their whole lives continuing to keep trying to climb the tree because their survival depends on it. Some people's talents go unveiled their whole lives because they don't think they could make it into something. And some people want to keep their talents to themselves or as a very low pressure hobby. And that's okay too. Not everything in life is about trying to finance max. Whilst there are many other people whose talents are in demand, who work a 9 to 5 to help supplement their income to help them keep them afloat whilst they pursue their talent in their free time. And this is arguably one of the best ways to go about trying to nurture your talent, and is actually the approach that I'm building towards right now as well at the moment, in order to be able to focus on the things that I truly enjoy and truly come naturally to me. But there are actually some people on the other side who bet on themselves from the very beginning. Here's what one musician had to say about their time in education.
So thinking back to when you were in school, how do you think education failed you? What do you think could have been done better to accommodate for you or to help you realize your talents, if that's what you feel?
More support. That's it. Just more support, man. More support.
Was there any
better learning?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just literally more support, man. Everyone's learning the same thing.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they really supported us the way we needed to, because I've learned more things on the road than I learned in school, bro.
Yeah.
Naturally, do you know what I mean? So that's thing they don't teach you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's sad. That's how the system is, though. You know what I'm saying? The system failed us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't want us to know what we need to know. They want us to know what they want what they want us to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go by their thing.
He's a bad boy, yeah? Yeah? This guy here is my nigga for life, and I'm telling you, he can spit
We're doing
hard.
the interview.
Yeah, he's like, this guy can spit, you know?
Yeah, is it?
He's
I do
better-
music. I do music.
10-10,
Yeah.
10-10. Better than every man from the bricks.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
And
and
been rapping
Donny's
since
from
young.
Brick Acre Lane.
Yeah, but not seriously though. But took it seriously.
What do
like
you
5
mean
years.
not seriously?
No,
Stop
from
that
young.
shit.
From young.
You've been seriously
No,
from
but
young.
from like young.
Yeah, I know what you're saying still.
But yeah, a few years now, man's been taking it seriously. Bro.
So back in when you're in school, so did you realize that while you were in school? When you that
Nah, more. I was not in school. More when I left school.
left school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally.
So but if you did realize at school, do you think it would
I
have
think
been
I would have put more. I would have been more. My mind would have been in a different place.
Yeah.
I would have taken it more seriously. You know what I'm saying? Probably would have not done certain things that I did. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, yeah.
Could his musical talents have been nurtured by school rather than having to turn to the streets or road to learn what you had to learn? Why were they so desperate to try and make him fit a mold that doesn't fit? And it really makes you wonder how many cases of this we see across the world, really, to be honest, because it's not just a problem that is unique to one specific country or continent or whatever. It's a global thing, I find. And is there anything that can be done to change this? Potentially, because you see, there's this beautiful thing called the internet, which has proven to be one of the greatest equalizers that we've ever seen in history, even more than the printed press or being able to write, because anyone can take their strange niche talent, build an audience around it, monetize that audience, and make a living off it. And in a lot of cases, assuming you're smart about it, you can make a much better living than you ever would working a 9 to 5, thus making that a very lucrative approach to take as well. And we're seeing more and more young people wanting to go that approach because they value having control over their time and control over what they can do, rather than being bound to someone else's schedule or making someone else rich. That sense of autonomy is something that is deeply valued by this generation. But it does beg a question: how can we take such a powerful tool like the internet and what it can do and apply it to something as traditional as education? Because it would be quite tricky, to be honest with you, because schools, especially schools in the UK, are experiencing enough challenges as it is when it comes to teacher shortages, budget cuts, and a growing mental health epidemic among children and young people.
Anything to do with sports, anything to do with the community as well. Nothing's getting backed by anyone here.
Yeah.
I'll say the schools. I feel like for the schools, that I feel like the teachers would be like more against us, our colours, if that makes sense. In terms of like, if you're getting bullied, they wouldn't really like defend us, if that makes sense. But I feel like it could get better, but I feel like it won't get better. If that makes sense. I feel like for me, I got a degree in sports, innit?
Yeah.
But I had to grind myself. I had to grind myself to get to the top to make it where I am. Because without my mum who's passed away, I wouldn't have done my degree. Like, so I feel like the school pushed me, but it wasn't enough pushing. If that makes sense, I feel like they would just exclude me anyway because I was just fighting everyone. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah. So like, me personally, like I feel like it could be two ways. It could be yes or no.
Yeah.
But it's more like in the middle. So if there was like to push, if it was to like to have the backing and pushing everyone to do it, then I think the schools will go far. I think schools will go far with our color, any color. But I feel like
are schools truly equipped at the moment to push kids to the best of their natural abilities?
Or I feel like I'm gonna like maybe head towards the path of like computer science and IT and stuff. I find it nice how like technology works and stuff like that.
And do you think the school is providing you the right support and right extracurriculars and like activities to be able to support that ambition of yours?
I say that it's sufficient. Like we get enough learning on it.
Is there anything you think that could be done better?
Maybe like make the lessons more frequent. Yeah, because we only have them every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And is there anything you, outside of your classroom that you can do? Maybe like an after-school club or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, we have enrichment, but I don't really go to it.
Why not?
They don't really have like computer science stuff like that. And it's not really stuff like I enjoy. It's mostly like proper curriculum, like English, maths. Yeah, stuff like that.
Furthermore, the lucrative industries that I mentioned earlier are actually quite reliant on a consistent stream or pipeline of new talent from the top institutions globally to ensure that the industry survives well into the future, which is very understandable given the importance of those industries. But at what cost? Because only a select group of people can actually make it into those industries, whilst everybody else is essentially left behind or seen as a second thought.
They understand there's a system in which that needs to be run. So the only specific the only specific like courses that they want people to venture into in order to keep the wheel spinning, basically. So the idea is I understand the kind of system that we live in, but the idea is to nurture and try and cultivate people's unique gifts so they can actually use it to create a better society for people.
So if we took this approach of a talent-focused education, would we run into the same oversaturation issue where everybody is trying to become a influencer, a content creator, and everyone's trying to do the same thing? That's what I thought. I originally said yes, I thought we would have this issue, but there was a quote I heard from a wise Indian American angel investor / philosopher named Naval Ravikant that actually changed my mind quite a bit. And what he said was, no one can compete with you on being you. Most of life is a search for who and what needs you the most. Meaning that if you focus on your specific niche, which no one else will be into, well, that's a lie. People will be into it, but they won't be. You have your own unique perspective on it from everyone else, and that's what makes us human, because we're all extremely different. There's no two individuals that are the same. So if you're able to really tune into that or really lean into that, you'll be able to stand out from everyone else. In fact, if everybody did that, we would have 8 billion different unique individuals really actualizing on who they are and making a living from that, which would be a very ideal world to live in, to be honest with you. But it does beg another question though. Is this approach actually pragmatic with what reality demands?
It's so hard to answer that, because it feels like I'm seeing this from a perspective of school, my parents, and the society. And in order for school to be more like, you know, me driven, like each child is given that space to occupy their potential and to sit in that, I think that would require a lot more recognition of who I would, like my humanity. I just don't feel like that was recognized as a black child. No, it's not. Thank God. But yeah, I think that ideally, in an ideal world, that would be the case. I would love for things to be more self-directed, but at the same time, that's just not how the Leaving Cert system works, Junior Cert, or like standardized assessment as like a way of calculating people's intelligence works. So I think it would maybe start from there. Like,
so in the next episode, we are going to have a look at where this tool has been successfully implemented in some institutions or in some people's lives, and just see what their take on it is and how it's affected them, and what are some ideas for how we can go about doing this in a very sensible way. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.